how did you get started in this industry? I mean, where did it all
Sure.
begin for you? And I know you're from Los Angeles. And did you grow up in Los Angeles, or how'd you make, how'd you get out here?
Well, I grew up in LA. I live in LA. I named my agency, This Is My South Bay, because I live in the South Bay part of Los Angeles. I'm in love with it. It's a beach area. And I use it almost like a case study for local businesses that they don't need to have 1 million followers on social media to get attention. I have probably 35, 40,000 on my social media combined. It's mostly geo-targeted. So if there's a fundraising event in town for a church, or if there's a small business that needs some exposure, or there's a festival going on or whatever, I get the news out for people in through my social media. It's a good way. So if you own a local business, you can engage the community. You can get to know people, and they can get to know you without, because social media is supposed to be social. It's not, hey, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. That stuff gets old and people unfriend you or don't watch you or whatever. And so how I got into this is back in the day, I used the analogy example for jewelry. I used to be a jeweler. And so around 2006, 7, when the Great Recession hit, I couldn't give away a diamond. Like, people were not looking to buy jewelry as people were losing their jobs. Even if that person wasn't losing their job, maybe their brother was or their neighbor was, and they were kind of concerned about everything. And so we did a shift in our business from mostly business to business. We started to do business to consumer, because about a third of or 40% or so of the jewelry stores, the brick and mortar, in a 5-year span of the Great Recession, closed up. And so some of them went online, but others just retired or, whatever, and couldn't compete, and they went away. And so we shifted to business. And so our business picked back up, and I got into SEO. I started, I was doing email marketing and social media marketing and everything, but I really took to SEO. And at some point I did a little bit of SEO work for my mom, who was a real estate agent. And then I had a friend that owned a dry cleaning store, and then my accountant, and I started to do work, and just to do it, not to charge them. And then slowly I started to do some consulting work and charging. And at some point I shifted over and opened up my own digital marketing agency.
And so for someone out there that has let's just say they're a realtor, or in my case, financial services, right? I mean, I have a business that mainly our business is 80% word of mouth. We see one client, we can get 10 or 15 or 20 referrals from one client. We also recruit, and then we train people in their warm markets. So that's another form of lead generation for us. What would be your advice to somebody in that situation that maybe they're out there right now and they're like, I just got nothing going, I'm just trying to get this thing moving in the right direction. What would be your first bit of advice for somebody like that? It's just like an independent agent.
Sure. I think a couple things. When we're talking about lead generation, you're going to need a website that's robust. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on it, but 500 to 2,000 at the most to build out a site. And if you can do it yourself, that's fine. And have a plan, have a keyword strategy, and make sure that you're getting the things that you need to get optimized. So a couple of things that you need reputation management. You need to make sure that there's a steady flow of reviews coming in. There's something called link building, where if I write an article on my website and I have a clickable link from my website pointing to your website, that's good for your online reputation. So the more websites you have pointing to your website, the better chance you have to rank, because Google is going to be like, okay, this website's linking, this one's linking, and so on. And you're going to get, your SEO is going to go up. So you have to have a plan, whether you're going to do it yourself or you're going to hire a consultant or whatever, to lay out a kind of a business plan, so to speak. The second part about how do I get things going is hopefully they have some kind of email list, maybe some contact list, business cards, whatever it is, and they can start to do a monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, like an email blast, mailing list, etc., to get in front of the people that they want to get in front of. Get all your audience in different, on different platforms. Now, I might use Facebook more than I use Twitter. Other people use Pinterest more than they use something else. So have all your platforms set up so that there might be someone that's just using Instagram. So if that's the case, you have an Instagram page, but get your audience on your different social media platforms, get their email addresses, get their mailing address, and start to do just a soft sell to stay in front of everybody. So that way really, you have a incoming lead funnel starting, but in the beginning, you have your core business. If you have contacts that you can lean into them. And with digital, it's very easy to stay in front of people with email and with social media.
And so email today, though, it's still relevant. I mean, it's still very relevant. I mean, people still look at their emails. They're still, and so that little campaign that you consistently drip to your audience is just keeping, because out of sight, out of mind.
Of course.
Right. But if they're in sight, you can continue to build relationships and look, they might not need you right now, but 3 years from now, they might need you,
and you're there.
And you're there. You're always there. You've never left them. They also, I think that potential clients, they love the consistency of it. They love that they know that you're still in business. I mean, the reason why somebody would eat at, whatever, McDonald's is because they know you're probably not going to die, right? Because McDonald's has been around forever and they have commercials every single day. I guess McDonald's is probably a bad analogy because probably a lot of people do die going to McDonald's, but you get what I'm saying. Like when the brand is solid, when the brand is real, Tiffany, for example, they've been around 150 years. And so you can rely on a company that's around. And I think, and I don't know, maybe, agree with me, disagree with me, but, businesses with solid brand marketing and brands that are consistently posting all the time, these brands tend to do better because people have more respect for them. There's more credibility. You said it. It's almost like the reputation, right? I mean, there's rankings on the internet with reputation rankings. Is that what you said earlier?
Absolutely. So there's reputation management is I think what you're referring to, and you want to make sure that you have the slow drip of reviews coming in. And when reviews come into your Yelp, Facebook, Google reviews, you want to make sure that you answer them. You want to make sure if you get a positive review, thank them. If you get a negative review, because what I do a lot of times is when I go to Yelp and I check out their reviews before I'm going to go to the restaurant or buy their product, I look at their negative reviews first, and I don't think I'm the only one. So I want to see if they have a 4.8 star out of 5. I'll still look at the negatives to see. And so a lot of times I'm looking to see how they handle an unhappy situation. Now, there are brands that will insult the client or, whatever. And there are other brands that will try to make an effort, hey, we're sorry you had a bad experience. How can we make it right? And then if the person responds still angry, I feel like, okay, the brand made an effort, and so try to, reply to everybody and keep in mind that, we're all watching, and try to, handle the situation in a way that you would want to be handled. And usually if you're upset at something, you don't want to be insulted after that. On top of it, it just gets worse.
Good advice, Eric. This is cool stuff, man. I wish I had about another 2 hours with you. But just, really kind of to maybe put things into as we kind of close here, is there any other mistakes that you see that people are making out there? Is there any other ideas that you might have that maybe some of us just haven't thought about yet that you see kind of behind the scenes? Any other thoughts that you might have as we kind of close this up?
Sure. So, in reference to SEO, we can spend hours upon hours. Just don't get locked into just SEO. Be sure to do your email marketing, your social media marketing, everything under digital. Don't be a one-trick pony. Spend some money if you have a budget on Google ads, a little bit on Facebook ads. If you don't, then that's fine. But I see a lot of times people, they put all their money into one, and if it doesn't work, then they think digital marketing is not for them. So kind of spread it around a little bit. I keep getting, there's this one person in particular who's kind of a friend also, that every, let's say 2 weeks before Black Friday, he'll reach out to me. He has a e-commerce business, and he wants to do SEO leading up to Black Friday and then Christmas, and that's not how SEO works. SEO is something, it's a position that's earned. What you have to keep in mind is you can't buy that position. Google is almost staking its reputation to give you that ranking for that position because it's organic. Now the paid, you can buy that position, but the organic, you can't. And so that takes time, because whatever keyword that you and your business or your clients, my clients, they want to rank for, that position is already taken. Okay, all the positions are filled pretty much, unless a new industry comes in. But for the most part, if you're looking for a French restaurant in your town, I'm sure those the rankings for the top 20, 50 have been taken, and mechanic and so on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to try to leapfrog over your competitor. If you're at number 50, hopefully in a couple months we'll be at number 35, and then a couple months later we'll be at number 10, and kind of move up from there. And that's done with consistency, consistently posting content that people are watching, that they're reading. Google is watching how long someone is on your website. So it's literally tracking. That has a big thing to do with your SEO. Is someone goes to your site, and let's say I get today 100 visitors to my website, 99 of them leave within 2 seconds. Well, guess what? Google's not going to rank me for that keyword anymore. And if I have more keywords that is having that kind of effect, then I'm not going to get ranked. So instead of doing a blog a day, do a blog a week, but do quality work. Do a video or a blog or infographic, whatever kind of content you're going to do, have it be quality work. Have it be something that people would take and share. When you put it on your social media, they're able to share it, follow it, etc. One of the biggest metrics that Google looks at, I shouldn't say biggest, but one of the top metrics is your social media campaign. So on your social media, if you have steady growth in your followers, if people are sharing, commenting, liking, following your social media, etc., you're posting regularly. It could be that you post once a month. It could be that you post weekly, if it's consistent. Like if you post next year, if you're doing your plans for next year for your social media, if you post 365 times January 1st and nothing the rest of the year, that's horrible for your algorithms. That's horrible for everything. So you have to plan things out consistently. And so you have to think of SEO as like a marathon. You might look at other things more, let's say Google Ads, you might look at it like a 100-yard dash. So, but the kind of like how the referral is where I think is where the best businesses are, where they're able to get the referrals, and that's, you see it in their bottom line. With companies, it's that free traffic coming in from Google, the SEO. That's where you're going to see the greatest return on investment.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.